This is Percy at the Cosmos Club for Friendship News Network, here with Michael Brown, candidate for mayor of District of Columbia. So, Mr. Brown,
yes,
as a class, we came up with 5 issues that are important to us young people, and would like to know your vision on these issues, with the hope to see policies implemented regarding the following issues: employment, environment, crime, gentrification, and cigarette tax. For example, on the issue of employment, what is your vision for minimum wage, and how do you plan to provide better job opportunities for D.C. residents?
Well, first of all, relative to minimum wage, minimum wage is one of those things where I call a weapon of mass destruction. You get a check, but it doesn't give you enough to do what you need to do to live your life. So I clearly want to raise minimum wage because that's the one way to give folks some dignity and respect. Because what we have to do is we have to compete with those bad forces in folks' neighborhoods that are offering them more money than minimum wage. So we have to compete with that, and the government has to step up and spend a little more money to make sure our young people have the kind of money they need to survive in the city.
Do you know anyone that is affected by minimum wage?
Absolutely. I think you see it every day where you have minimum wage jobs. Most folks that have minimum wage jobs have to get another job because that minimum wage job isn't enough. And that means they're spending less time with their families, less time at home, less time in their neighborhood. So yes, we see that effect every day.
In reference to environment, how would you maintain a clean and safe environment for D.C., especially cleaning the Anacostia River and eradicating homelessness?
Well, relative to the environment and pollution, there's something called returnable bottles and cans, where we have to make sure that we're putting that nickel return. That way you won't see a lot of glass and bottles in the street, and people will pick up those bottles because they want that nickel. So we have to create that environment. Homelessness. This is the nation's capital. It's a disgrace to see not just the amount of homeless men on the street anymore, but now we see homeless families because folks can't afford to live in this city. I'm going to fix all that.
Okay. So when, not if, but when you become mayor, do you think it'll be possible to get jails to let inmates come out and let the inmates clean up?
Well, believe it or not, we have 2,800 inmates coming back into our city over the next 24 months. And those folks need jobs, and they need careers, and they need hope, and they need opportunity. So the answer to the question, I love that idea, is creative. So I think anything that gets people to work and taking pride in their neighborhood is a good thing, and I would definitely help to support that.
On the issue of crime, how will you deal with gangs, especially the increasing female gangs in D.C., black-on-black crime, and corrupt police in our neighborhoods?
Well, clearly, crime and black-on-black crime and public safety and the police all goes back to, again, you're going to hear me saying it over and over again during this campaign, is giving young people hope. When folks have hope and respect for each other, they don't commit crimes. Again, I mentioned earlier that when back in my day, you're a little young, but back in my day, we had the ability to make sure that if you did have a beef with somebody, you got to see tomorrow. You got to see the next day. Today, young people, when they fight each other, it almost has to end in such a deadly way that people have forgotten about tomorrow. They've forgotten about their future. So I want to create an environment where people feel hope, man. And again, it's a word that I think we take for granted, that word hope. I want you to have hope. So when you look up and say, Mayor Brown created a million opportunities for me, because I want you to own your own business one day. That's better than being an NBA star. Because NBA contracts, they run out at some point. When you own your own business, you can pass that along to your family, and they pass it on to their kids, and it's generational wealth. That's what I want our folks to understand. I was all-city, all-metropolitan basketball player, and the NBA was really never a dream of mine. I wanted to do stuff in the business world, and that's what I want young folks to understand, that they have a lot of opportunities out there for them, and I'm going to try to give them that.
Okay. Gentrification is very evident in the new District of Columbia. Some may say that the development that our city has experienced is good, while others may say that the district residents have been left behind in the process. How will you provide affordable housing for low to moderate income families and individuals, and what parts of D.C. will these opportunities be provided?
Well, gentrification doesn't always have to be a bad word. It's a bad word in this city because gentrification means moving black people out. And anything that's about moving middle-class folks out, or black folks, or African Americans, to me is not a good thing. It's not fair. We can do both. I love that new folks are coming into our city. I think it's great. I think diversity is wonderful. but it shouldn't be at the expense of senior citizens, our middle class, and frankly, black people. And I'm going to continue to stand up for that. Gentrification can also be good. It can also redevelop neighborhoods, but you don't have to move people out to do that. These city leaders think you have to, and I don't agree with that. That's one of the reasons I'm running for mayor.
Thank you. This is Percy Newton at the Cosmos Club with Michael Brown. Thank you.